And we are recording. All right, guys, let me make sure that you can see my mat. I think you can. We're good? All right, let's start off in child's pose. And as you know, I always love to start off with child's pose. I probably do this 90% of the time because it forces you to ground yourself, right? It forces you to kind of transition from what you were doing before you got to your mat to the idea of just letting go. So I'd like for you to kind of make a V with your legs, right? Each knee on either side of the mat. So left knee to the left side, right knee to the right side. And just extend your arms forward with your fingers spread wide, okay? And you're just gonna drop your forehead down onto the mat. Your bottom may or may not touch your heels, and that is totally fine. And if in child's pose you feel like you want to have that connection, you can always put something in between your heels and your bottom so that you kind of decrease the space, right? Like it could be a towel or a block, depending on how much space you have. But just allow yourself to rest, allow yourself to lay everything down on your mat and just be. Just be here in the moment. We're coming to the close of another month, getting ready for the warmer months, and a lot of changes happen. I believe there was like a snow moon that happened, I guess Friday night going into Saturday, which kind of signals changes, going within, going deep within, right? So see it for this moment in time. See if you can just be and just go within. Not allowing yourself to focus on anything, but where you are right this second, you know, allowing yourself to make that transformation from busyness to easiness. And I believe all of you guys are familiar with Ujjayi Pranayama. It is the key to a vinyasa style practice because you are essentially connecting movement with the breath. So with every movement, you're going to want to inhale and hold for about 4 seconds if you can. And then slowly exhale for at least the same amount of time. Slowly breathing in. And then slowly breathing out. They call it Ujjayi Pranayama, which means victorious breath, right? So you'll be using this throughout the practice. It's going to be useful to kind of calm your mind, calm your body, and warm your body for some of the motions and postures that you're going to do. So when you're doing your vinyasa practice, right, and you forget the breath and start holding on to the breath, then it means kind of you lost the movement. So it might be a signal for you to slow down and perhaps maybe come back to child's pose, right? So if you find that, you know what, you just need a break, child's pose is always your friend whenever and whenever you need it. Okay? So take a deep breath in, slowly exhaling it all out. And I'll try to cue the breath each time that we're moving, but at times I won't be able to, but just keep remembering it's like an oceanic breath, right? It's an oceanic sound. It's going to continue like the waves throughout this practice. It's about flowing, right? So in yoga, you've got, your grounding postures like this, or maybe when you're standing on your feet, or maybe when you're kind of rooting down, which signals the earth, right? And you've got the flow, which is like the water, okay? You've got the wind, which is the breath. And of course, as we kind of go through our sun salutation, it's kind of be the fire, right? The thing that warms your body, challenging you. Continue breathing. Breathing in at your own pace. And breathing out. Then on your next inhalation, see if you can lift your elbows up off the mat. Still keeping your fingers spread wide. Your fingers should be spread like tree frog fingers, right? So really gripping the mat, the heel of your hand gripping the mat. And then the center of your palm should be hollow, like as if you could fit maybe a marble underneath there. Tented fingers there, right? With the heel of your hand down. And as your elbows are lifted up off the mat, see if you can draw your shoulder blades down, right? And away from your ears. When our shoulders are up near our ears, it signals tension, right? So we don't want tension here. So if you notice and are aware of that happening, see if you can draw your shoulder blades down. And then with the heel of your hand, see if you can push your body back, right? So that you come a little bit closer to your heels. Right? Elbows still off the mat and continuing to breathe. And with your belly tucked in, let's slowly come up to all fours, sliding your fingertips back towards your knees, right? And creating kind of a table. So you're like in a tabletop position. And then pushing the mat away, let's let the belly sink. Let's bring your gaze up towards the ceiling so we can take our round of cats and cows. We're into cow pose now. And then on your exhale, pushing the mat away, bringing your gaze between your knees. Your spine is arched like a cat. Inhale, allow your belly to sink. Gaze is up towards the ceiling. And then on your exhale, round your spine, bringing your gaze between your knees. And on your exhale, let's just come to a neutral spine. But we're going to take a bird dog position, right? So you may want to bring your knees a little bit closer together for more stability. It's Yogi's choice. And then I'd like for you to just extend your right leg back. Your heel should be looking at the ceiling, okay? Ensuring that your right hand is very steady. Let's lift your left hand up, right? So that you're in like a bird dog position. Continuing to breathe, drawing your belly in, and then exhale, bring your hands down, and then with your right knee, let's see if you can bring it through between your hands, bringing the sole of your feet down onto the mat, and we're going to take a low lunge, okay? So my fingertips are tented down onto the mat. I'm going to draw my hips forward into a low lunge, extending my arms up high, okay? And you can keep your hands apart or you can bring them together, Ashtanga style. Eventually you will. Let's all just take a deep breath in, deep breath out. On your inhale, let's see if you can bring that left hip a little bit more forward without sinking into the right leg. Breathing in and breathing out. Bringing your palms together, we're going to bring our hands down to heart center, and we're going to spin and twist to the right. Taking a deep breath in, deep breath out, being mindful of that belly, not allowing it to lay on that thigh. And then on your exhale, let's release our hands down and then draw that right foot back to table. Let's take a deep breath in, deep breath out. We're going to do the same thing on our left side. So we're going to extend that left leg out long, okay? Heel is looking at the ceiling, okay? Find your balance here with those tree frog fingers. And then we're going to extend our right hand out, okay? Let's just take a deep breath in, deep breath out. We're going to bring that right hand down. And then we're going to slide that left knee in between the hands so that the sole of the foot is flat on the mat in between the hands, and we're going to take low lunge, Anjaneyasana on the other side. Okay, so drawing those hips forward, like you see me kind of pulling those hips forward, releasing the hands, extending them up high. Palms can touch or not. Maybe you go a little bit deeper, but if you are going a little bit deeper, being mindful not to drop into that left leg. Okay? All take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Bring our hands together, down to our heart center, and we're going to spin and twist to the left this time. Elbow should be on the outside of that left thigh, right? Being mindful not to put it on top of the knee, maybe just a little bit, a couple inches lower than your kneecap. Okay, on the outside of that left leg. Taking a deep breath in, deep breath out. Just doing a little twisting right now. If you want to go deeper, you can always use that right elbow as a lever and push away so that you can get a deeper twist. Continuing to breathe. And let's all release our hands down. Let's come back to table, neutral spine. Take a deep breath in. And then exhale, pushing the mat away, tucking your toes under. We're going to extend into our first downward facing dog. You might find it easy to kind of lean back into like a child's pose for this first downward facing dog. And then pushing the mat away, lifting your knees up off the mat, come into down dog. And this is your down dog. Feel free to adjust the distance, right? But you want your belly in, okay? You want kind of an outward rotation of those shoulders. So you're pulling them closer in so that those elbows are looking at each other. Toes should be on the mat. Doesn't matter if the heels are or not, okay? Just do what is comfortable to you. Some people like a very wide downward facing dog, and they may find that wider is better, but maybe the heels don't touch, or maybe you want to be closer so that they do. Just find your comfortable down dog and then begin pedaling your feet, right? Just getting some motion, getting some blood flowing in your feet, right? You might feel this perhaps on the back of your calves, maybe a little bit in the hamstrings. You certainly may feel this in your arms. Remembering your breath. I always like to say, take your breath with you. Don't forget your breath. And then let's all come to stillness. Take a deep breath in. Exhale it out. And with your inhale, slowly walk your feet up to meet your hands. And when you meet them, let's keep your feet about hip width distance apart. You can keep your fingertips on the mat, or you can take ragdoll a different way. You can grab opposite elbows. If you want a deeper chest stretch, you can interlace your fingers behind you, right? No matter what your version of ragdoll is, see if you can maybe start shifting the hips left to right, bending the knees a little bit, allowing your head to hang heavy. Remember that your neck is an extension of your spine. So we don't want to tort the neck or do anything weird. But if you'd like to kind of wring out your neck a little bit, maybe you do a little bit of shaking the head yes or no, just to get some motion inside your neck. If it's tense. And then let's come to stillness. Release your hands down to the mat. Toe heel your feet together. And then slowly, vertebra by vertebra, come all the way up to standing. How are we doing? Oh, we've got some fun stuff coming, ladies. All right. So we're going to take, to warm up our body, a few sun salutations. We're going to do a sun A, We're going to do an interesting sun bee twisted. Okay. See, I've got an interesting sun bee. I've got some nice chair twists. So let's get ready. With your inhale, extend your arms up high, palms touch. Exhale, hinging at the hips, swan dive into a forward fold. With your inhale, halfway lift with a flat back, lengthening the spine. Exhale, fold, step back, and we'll take our vinyasa. It's high to low. So high push-up or plank to low push-up, chaturanga, or you can come all the way down, okay? Keeping your elbows close to your ribs, toenails to the mat, pushing the mat away, come into cobra, or sliding your hands back closer to your ribs, you can come into up dog. It is yogi's choice. You can stay either on the mat or off. Remembering your breath. Tuck your toes under, pushing the mat away, come into downward facing dog. Let's take a deep breath in. Exhale, open the mouth, let it go. On your next inhale, bring your gaze to the top of the mat. Step forward to meet your hands. And with your inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold. Okay. Now we're going to do sun A again, just one more, one breath at a time. With your inhale, extend your arms up high. Exhale, hinge at the hips, swan dive, back down to a forward fold. With your inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, bring your palms down, step it back, and then lower down, taking your vinyasa. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, tuck your toes under, pushing the mat away, downward facing dog. Let's take a deep breath in. Exhale, open the mouth, let it go. With your inhale, bring your gaze to the top of the mat. Step forward to meet your hands. And with your inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold. Sun B, bend your knees, drop your hips, and with your inhale, rise up into Utkatasana, chair pose. Okay? Toes should be very light. Toenails are probably very fine, but your toenails should be light. Okay? Knees should be in alignment. Belly should be tucked in. Now you can keep your hands, I like my hands together, Ashtanga style, but if this feels uncomfortable, you can always keep them apart. Or do kind of goalpost, cactus arms, whatever you want to call it. It's yogi's choice. Some people like to interlace their fingers behind them and roll their shoulders back. Okay, it is yogi's choice. But whatever version of chair you've got, remember to breathe. Breathing in, breathing out. Continuing to breathe wherever those hands are. Let's bring them down to our heart center. Okay. Let's take a deep breath in. And then exhale, we're going to spin and twist to the right. Okay. So very similar to what we did in Ajnayasana, right? Your elbow is on the outside of the knee. Okay. Not on the knee, about 2 inches down. Take a deep breath in. And then exhale, let it go. And while you're breathing, see if maybe you can twist a little deeper, right? So just making sure you have a good anchor with that elbow. Maybe you twist a little bit more. So notice when I twist it, right? I'm drawing that belly in, using my elbow as a lever. My hands are clasped together. It's allowing me to go a little bit deeper in that twist. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, release your arms down to the mat and stand into a forward fold. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Let's toe heel your feet about hip width distance apart. Remember, your neck is an extension of your spine. So see if you can keep your head hanging heavy. And we're going to take hand to big toe here, okay? It's called, let's say, Hasta Padangusthasana. So we're going to take peace fingers. We're going to wrap them around our big toes, right? So it's creating like a little grip. I don't know if you can see, right? I'm gripping that big toe. And then I'm going to pull my body forward. So see if you can pull your body toward your knees, okay? And as you do, your elbows will likely drop to the side, and that's okay. If you need, we talked about hamstrings, this is absolutely a nice hamstring stretch, okay? But if you need to bend your knees, please do. And I'm somewhat hypermobile, so sometimes I have to force myself to bend my knees a little just to be normal, right? So as you're bending forward, if you need to bend your knees, that's fine, but see if you can draw your belly in so you're not resting on the thighs. Continuing to breathe. You will feel this down the back of your legs for sure. And then release your toes, bringing your fingertips to the mat, toe heel your feet together again. All right? Now with your inhale, you're going to bend your knees, drop your hips, and we're coming right back into Utkatasana, chair pose. Continuing to breathe. Okay, reset to go. Breathing in and breathing out. Remembering your toes are very light. You'll feel it in your quads. Let's all take one more big breath in. And then exhale. We're going to bring our hands to our heart center and we're going to spin and twist this time to the left. Right? So that elbow is still that anchor. If you were able to, as you're breathing, see if you can spin and twist a little bit more. You'll get a deeper twist as you kind of push that elbow inside. It's like you're using that top hand to push the bottom hand. And as you're doing that, your elbow will allow you to kind of twist a little bit more. So you're turning your torso while you're kind of pushing that hand, allowing for that resistance to happen. Take a deep breath in. And then exhale, release your hands down to the mat. Toe heel your feet, hip width distance apart. This time we're going to take Padahastasana. So Pada is your feet, Hasta is your hands. Padahastasana is I'm going to put my hand underneath my feet. So it's going to be the sole of my feet touching the palm of my hand. Your toes should be kind of toward your wrist if you're able to get it there. If you cannot, that's okay. All right, so as long as you have kind of the weight in your toes as opposed to your heels. Most times we're asking people to put the weight in their heels for like glute type exercises, things like that. This time we want the weight in your toes. Okay, and with your inhale, let's see if you can pull up, making your arms straight just for a second. And then exhale, allowing yourself to fold forward. Again, your elbows will splay out to the sides, just like for the first movement. Okay, you'll feel this in the back of your hamstrings for sure. And then as you have that space with your elbows kind of going further and further away, you should be getting closer and closer to your thighs. Yes, you guys look great. Oh, my sister's joined. Hi, Nita. Awesome work, guys. Okay. Take a deep breath in. Exhale it out. Release your hands from the bottom of your feet. Let's toe heel them back together again. Okay, so now you're in a forward fold. And with your inhale, extend all the way up to to high mountain. And then exhale, release your hands down to your heart center. Awesome work, okay? We're gonna add on from there. With your inhale, extend your arms up high, palms touch. Exhale, swan dive forward. Okay. With your inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, palms down, step it back, and you got it. Take your vinyasa, high to low. Inhale, up dog or cobra. And then exhale, tuck your toes under, downward facing dog. Let's take a deep breath in. Exhale, open the mouth, let it go. Bring your feet together at the back of the mat. And with your inhale, lift your right leg up high. Exhale, knee to nose, swing it through between your hands. And with your inhale, rise up into warrior one. I'm going to turn this way so you can see. Warrior one. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. That knee should be tracking, the front knee should be tracking kind of in the middle of your foot, right? Towards that baby toe. Back foot is flat, facing northwest, okay? Shoulder blades drawn down. Hands together or hands apart. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. And then on your next inhale, whether your hands are together or apart, let's all have their hands together. And we're gonna take that back leg, and all we're gonna do is just pivot a little so that foot is facing the same direction as the front foot. And you're gonna lift the heel off the ground to come into crescent lunge. Okay. Front leg did not move. Okay. Hands did not move. Okay. All you did was pivot that left or that back foot so it's facing the front of your mat, and you're up on your toes. Okay. So all bring our hands together, and then exhale down to our heart center. Okay, so we've kind of got a crescent lunge, hands at heart center. Take a deep breath in, and then exhale. We're going to spin and twist. You got it, to the right side. So that left elbow is on the outside of that right knee. Take a deep breath in. Exhale it out. One more biggest breath in. Maybe you can twist just a little bit more. And then exhale, bring those hands down around that front foot. Slide that front foot back and take your vinyasa, high to low. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, tuck your toes under, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, open mouth, let it go. Bring your feet together at the back of the mat. And with your inhale, lift your left leg up high. Exhale, knee to nose, swing it through between the hands, spinning that back foot flat. And with your inhale, rise up. Warrior one on the other side. Taking a deep breath in, deep breath out, using your hand positions. Okay, it's yogi's choice. On your next inhale, we bring our hands together, right? And we're going to spin that back foot so it's facing front, taking crescent lunge on the other side. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Your next inhale, see if you can stretch just a little bit more up towards the sky, maybe taking a slight back bend. And then exhale, bring your hands down to your heart center. You're going to spin and twist to the left this time. Okay? Turn around so you can see me on this side. Okay. Crescent lunge to the left. Lifting your belly up, using that elbow as a lever, maybe pushing a little bit further into that twist. Okay? And that back leg, it's okay if it's bent. Mine was. See if you can maybe lift that back leg, feeling it a little bit more in your glute. Taking a deep breath in, and then exhale, releasing down around that front foot, sliding it back, and taking your vinyasa. And we'll meet in downward facing dog. Let's all take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. One more biggest breath in. Biggest breath out. Bring your gaze forward to the top of the mat. Step or jump forward to meet your hands. And with your inhale, halfway lift. Flat back, lengthening the spine. Exhale, fold, forward fold. Okay. Bend your knees, drop your hips with your inhale, rise up into Utkatasana. Of course, chair again. Hopefully chair is getting easier now, right? We've done it about 11 times. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Biggest breath in, fullest expression, maybe reaching your arms a little bit more backwards. And then exhale, fold forward. Okay. With your inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, bring your palms down, step it back, and take your vinyasa, high to low. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, open your mouth, let it all go. This is the fire part, y'all. Let's bring your feet together at the back of the mat. With your inhale, lift your right leg up high. Exhale, knee to nose, swing it through between your hands, spinning the back foot flat. And with your inhale, rise up to warrior one. Exhale, open wide to warrior two. Feet don't change, right? Warrior feet don't change from warrior one to warrior two. With your inhale, flip your palm up and reverse it back into peaceful warrior. You may find that with peaceful warrior, maybe you can go a little bit lower, So if you're here, maybe you can sink a little bit lower. See what feels right to you. See if maybe you need a little bit more edge. Taking a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Biggest breath in. And then on your exhale, take side angle. You're gonna bring that right forearm down onto your right quad, okay? You can either keep your hands on your hips. You can bring your hands straight up into the air. If you really want the full expression of side angle, just take this left arm, the one that's in the air, kind of spin it so it's almost like you're sniffing your armpits, right? That's the feeling, okay? Being mindful not to lean into that front leg. Lifting up, breathing in, breathing out. See how you guys are doing? We're about to get really wild. I'm going to give you a ton of options, okay? And it's always, always, always yogi's choice, right? One of the things in yoga is called pavarika. Pavarika is important because it means revolved, okay? We're going to stay here if you'd like, in side angle, or if you want to make an interesting twist, this is all about twists, right? So we're at side angle. All we're going to do, right, is we're going to take that upper arm, the one where you were smelling that armpit. You're going to bring it down on the inside of that front foot, tented fingers or hands flat. And the arm that's resting, you're going to bring it up in the air. So you're going to take your torso. Your torso is forward. Like I'm kind of almost in a runner's lunge, but I'm not because I'm in warrior or side angle feet. My feet don't change yet. Okay? Left arm's tented fingers down, and it's my stable base. I'm going to take the one that's on my front leg and I'm going to lift it up in the sky. When I lift it up in the sky, right? So that right arm is palms facing out towards the right. I have no choice. If I want that arm to be straight, I got to twist, revolve, side, angle, twisting. Okay? Taking a deep breath in, deep breath out. I do have an out for you though. Okay? We're going to take a knee, right? So whenever we're like, uncle, I'm done with this revolve stuff, drop the left knee down to the ground. Okay? And now you have a release for a second, right? We're going to place that left hand, if it was tented fingers, let's place it flat down to the ground, okay? And then what we're going to do, this is going to be funky, we're going to take that right leg and take the half circle. That right leg is going to go half circle around my body. So I'm here, half circle around, and guess what I've moved into? Gate, okay? It's almost gate here. All I'm going to do is take that knee and face it towards the right side of my mat. And I'm in gate. Isn't that funky and cool? We were going to do some twisting today. And I'm going to check on you guys in gate. Some of you guys may be still in side angle. If you're in side angle, that's okay. All right. You can stay here, okay? So those of you gators, that's no problem. Stay here, okay? Or if you want a little more, what you're going to do is you're going to take a plank to side plank on the same side, Vashisthasana. So we go into plank. So if you're a gate, you're here. And if you want to stay in gate, gate's a nice resting posture. You should feel comfortable in gate. Just be mindful not to sink and be mindful to have your chest open, right? So that you're making one straight line with your body, okay? For those of us who want a little more, from gate, you're going to bring both of your hands down into a regular plank, okay? Not a forearm plank, a straight arm plank, okay? Remember those tree frog fingers from the beginning? You need them. You're going to take your left hand and bring it to the center line of your mat. Tree frog fingers are strong. You should be able to put a marble on the middle of your palm. And what you're going to do is you're going to spin and twist over to the right. You can either have feet stacked or one in front of the other, okay? Vashisthasana, lifting those hips up high, okay? If you want to stay here, you can. Maybe you take tree. I promise you I have an out from here, okay? So we're in side plank. We have a tree going on. When you've had enough, then take that right leg, bring it behind you. You are on top of your toes, and then push those hips up, drop that right arm, and look at that. We're in wild thing. Wild thing. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. And then whenever you're ready, gators, wild things, drop your hands down and take your vinyasa. And you will meet in downward facing dog. Oh, tell y'all we're going to be twisting and shouting. Are y'all twisting and shouting with the mutes off? You're going to feel good after this, I promise. All right. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. What happened on the right must happen on the left. So bring your feet together at the back of the mat. With your inhale, lift your left leg up high. Exhale, knee to nose, swing it through between the hands, spinning the back foot flat. And with your inhale, rise up to warrior one on the left side. Find your most comfortable. Now that you know what's coming, right? Find your comfortable warrior one feet. Okay? Because remember, our feet aren't going to move for a while. Okay? Shoulders away from our ears. Remember our alignment, right? Taking a deep breath in. Not forgetting our breath. Deep breath out. Inhale, maybe sink a little lower. Maybe reach the arms a little bit towards the back. So we have a slight back bend. And then exhale, open wide to warrior two. With your inhale, flip your palm up, reverse it back. Side angle on the other side. Now remember, you could stay here the entire time. You know what's coming. You know your body, you know? We will either progress or we will regress, and it's okay. Okay? You have to listen to your body. I'm just giving you some tools, different things that you can try, whether it's today or tomorrow. Maybe it's next week. Okay, just tools. But never, never forget your breath. If your breath is out of control, take a break. It is no problem. That's the beauty of yoga, okay? So we are in side angle. Pavrita. Remember Pavrita? Pavrita, and the Sanskrit name is Pavrita Parsvakonasana. Parsvakonasana, side angle. Okay, so we're here for the regular side angle. And when we make Pavrita, we are going to take the upper arm down. I'm going to turn here so you can see how it looks. Okay, so I'm at my side angle. You're going to look at my back for a second, but I'm revolving. And when I revolve, I'm bringing that upper hand down to the mat, tented fingers or flat if you're able to. Okay, the arm, the forearm that was on that front knee, I'm now twisting the other direction towards the outside, lifting that upper arm. Okay, feet did not move. Okay, this is revolved side angle. All right, and when you've had enough of revolved side angle, typically you stay in the posture like this for 5 breaths. I'm not going to do that. Okay, when you've had enough, drop that right knee down. Okay, so now I feel secure because that knee is down. Right, take that hand that was tented fingers, making sure it's flat. Okay, and then you're going to do that half circle so that you can get into gate. Okay, and if you need to bring this hand down for security, that's fine. Okay, but it needs to come back up. So we're almost in gate. All we need to do though is face that front knee towards the edge of the mat and bring the hand up. And we're in gate. Okay. You can stay in gate. Gate is comfortable. Gate is fine. If you are in gate, see if you can pull that pelvis forward, right? So that it's one straight line. Like pretend like your body's in between 2 panes of glass. So you're pulling that it's probably like that right hip forward so that you're kind of all in one line in alignment. And you can stay in gate, right? Once you get in gate, once you get confident in gate, you're like, okay, I'm in gate, this is good. Or if you want to take it further, remember, it's taking a plank pose. So you're bringing that upper arm down so that you're in a regular plank, okay? And then this time you're going to take the right hand to the center line, go into Vashisthasana, side plank, feet stacked or one in front of the other. Okay? Maybe you take a tree pose for just a second, and then that same tree leg goes back behind you. You're on your toes, okay? And then you drop that upper arm down, pulling those hips more forward into wild thing. It kind of feels like you're free, like you're a wild thing. Okay? And then whenever you're ready, from wild thing, just drop that upper arm down, spin and twist your body back to a plank, and then take your vinyasa. And you will meet in downward facing dog. Awesome, awesome work. Okay. Downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, open the mouth, let it all go. With your inhale, step or jump to meet your hands. And then with your inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. And then exhale, fold. And then we're going to slowly, on your next inhale, just come all the way, vertebra by vertebra, all the way up to standing. Awesome, awesome work. Let's bring your shoulders up, around and back. Let's do it one more time. Bring them up, almost like you're going to your ears, and then around to the back. Awesome work, guys. Okay, you should feel very warm right now. We did the firefighter part of this, okay? And now we're gonna try some balancing postures. And I promise you, after the balancing, we're gonna hit the floor, all right? So let's all take a deep breath in. High mountain, and then exhale it out. Hands by your side. All right, hand to big toe. So we did some Padahastasana and Padangustasana. So Padangustasana, as you remember, when we were kind of folded over, doing those kind of spin and twists when we were from chair, we grabbed our big toe. We're gonna do the same thing here, okay? If you need a strap, it is awfully helpful, or a towel to wrap around that front foot. It gives you a little bit more leverage. I'll show you. I think I did this a couple of weeks ago, so you guys may remember this. But whenever you have a block or a strap, it just brings you closer, and it's the easier way to get to the posture. If you need it, use it. It's a nice tool, okay? If you need security, you can hold on to something, right? Or what I was trying out earlier today was if you have a wall nearby and you're able to kind of, or a chair that just gives you security, like near that standing leg, that's a nice way to practice being on one leg, regardless of what posture it is, okay? So with, I'm gonna say this in Sanskrit, y'all are gonna love this. Utthita Hasta Padangustasana. You're standing up, okay, and I'm gonna use this as my security. And let's show you the first posture, and then you can progress from there if you'd like. So really, you just get your weight into your left foot, okay? And you know where they talk about the four corners of the feet, so that you can make sure that basically your toe pads of your toes are touching the floor along with your heels, and then your arch is lifted, right? It gives you a lot more stability. That's what you're gonna do in your left foot. Now, with your right leg, you're really just gonna lift up the knee and then take it to the right, okay? And I'll show you this, but first thing is drishti. Drishti is really important for balancing postures. It's a gaze point, so find a gaze point. You get your feet grounded right, so you have a nice balance. Find your drishti, right, wherever you're gonna be looking, okay? Belly is in, and I always talk about also the hips, right? Making sure that your hips are square, so if they're off, it means that you might wobble a bit and you may fall or you may get out of balance. Just make sure that your hips are square, headlights facing forward, right? Whatever security you need, or if you don't need any, that's fine. And literally you can take your hand right underneath your knee, lift it up, and take it to the side. And if this is where you stay, that's okay. All I would ask is that maybe you try turning your gaze the opposite way. So the knee that is up, it's the right knee, turn your gaze over your left shoulder, okay? That's where you start. If you have more flexibility, you may want to take the full extension. And it's the same posture. What you're just going to do, though, is that you're going to take a strap or a towel around your foot. So I've looped this strap, sticking my foot through it. I'm putting it around my arch, right? I'm bending my knee. Okay, I've got my stability here with this lamp. And then I'm going to extend my foot forward and just bring it out to the side. And then when I'm here, bring your gaze over your left shoulder. And of course, if you don't need the strap, then what you're going to do is literally take those fingers, hand to big toe, remember? So take those peace fingers around that big toe, extend it out to the front, and then to the side. Bringing your gaze over that left shoulder. Okay? So just try that a few times. It's a bit hard. And if you find that, you know what, going to the front to the side is hell, then just maybe go off to the side or just do the front part of it. I find sometimes pulling it forward into the side is really hard and I get really wobbly and it's hard for me. But I can at least go to the side. I've learned, okay, I can go to the side. So do what feels right to you for now. It's just something worth trying and practicing. And then over time, as you find yourself and your hips opening up more and you have more flexibility in your hamstrings to extend all the way, then you can progress to that. Okay? All right.
Quick question.
Yeah, sure.
So should my left knee be bent or should it be straight?
That is a good question. If I were to choose one, I think you have to it depends on, first of all, you. Like I have a fallen arch, right, for me. And I also have hypermobility. So standing up straight to me is wrong. Standing up straight means that I'm pushing my knee far back and it creates tension in my knee joint. So I would say a slightly bent knee is where you want it if you have normal feet and normal legs, right? Just so that you have that stability. You can see if you can see it from the side. You see it's just slightly bent, right? But bending it all the way, if you have hypermobility, is a problem. That's straight for me, and that sucks. So I have to consciously do this. But not knowing your legs, I would say that a slightly bent leg is probably a safe bet. Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Let's try the other side, okay? Let's all take a deep breath in, extend your arms up high, high mountain. Exhale, palms down by your side. And of course, you have to do the other side, right? So 4 corners of the feet, finding your balance, making sure your hips are square, right? So I'm like kind of testing the water without bringing my foot up yet. And then maybe the other side looks different, right? If you were doing kind of like the first posture and you say, wow, maybe I can go a little further. Using a block or a strap, even if your legs are bent, you can see yourself progressing, right? So you're not staying just in the security area. You're saying, okay, I'm here. And if you're here, that's okay. It's about opening your hips and getting that extension. So over time, when you feel comfortable to extend that leg all the way long, then you're there. I see you, Joyce. I see you. So, and then if you need the security, you can extend forward. If you need the security to hang on to something, you can. Maybe one side looks different than the other. Maybe putting your arm out gives you more balance. You have to decide. I see you, Lynn, and Lynn's friend. You look good. Awesome. Thank you, Robin. We're recording, so hopefully you can get the rest of it later. Awesome.
Thanks, ladies.
No problem. All right. When you feel like you've tried it enough on the other side, and it looks like we are there. Oh, wait, we got one more. Nice extension. That was beautiful. All right. Let's all take a deep breath in. And then exhale, swan dive it forward to the forward fold. With your inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. And then exhale, palms down, step it back. You got it. Take your vinyasa. High to low push-up, upward facing dog or cobra. Tuck your toes under, downward facing dog. Let's take a deep breath in. Exhale, open the mouth, let it go. And then from this downward facing dog, I'm going to ask you to shift forward into plank. Okay. And then just slowly, maybe for the count of 5, bring your elbows really close in, like hugging close to your rib cage, and then just come all the way down to your belly. I promise you, we're hitting the floor. Okay. And then we're going to do something fun. Well, I wouldn't say it's really fun, but it'll be nice and relaxing for sure, right? And let's just allow one cheek, your favorite cheek, to touch the mat, okay? And let's bring your hands down by your side, so extended long with palms facing down. This should feel very nice. It's like a nice little twist on your neck. So when you have no neck problems, this will be fine. If you do, then you know what you need to do based on what your doctor has told you. And just allow yourself to have a moment of rest. And then we're going to flip to the other side. Just giving the other cheek some love. It should feel really nice. Just for a couple of breaths. And then let's all bring our heads back to center, okay? We're gonna move into locust pose, which is Shalabhasana, into bow pose, which is Dhanurasana, okay? So it's gonna be kind of a fluid motion. For locust, right? It's like the first series of kind of like abs or back bending type exercises. And if you have any low back issues, I would ask that you spread your feet far apart so that basically your feet are on the corners of your mat. If not, you can zip your legs back up, okay? Your palms are facing down, okay? We're gonna lift our forehead off the mat so your chin is facing the mat. But remember, your neck is an extension of your spine, so you don't want to tort your neck and do any weird stuff like this, right? Just keep it forward and down. And what you're going to do, without really moving your head, you're just going to lift your chest up off the mat, okay? Just lift your chest up off the mat, pushing almost like your belly into the mat to allow yourself to come up. You'll know your stopping point. You don't want to tort your low back, so you'll know your stopping point. And then whether your legs are zipped up or far apart, see if you can lift your legs up off the mat. So you almost got like a little slight banana or C curve going on here. And then when you've got that going, just lift your hands up off the mat, okay? So your neck is an extension of your spine. Your gaze is forward and down. Your feet are lifted. Your feet maybe are slightly pointed, okay? And you're continuing to breathe. Maybe you lift your feet a little higher. Maybe you lift your chest a little higher. And then exhale, come down. All right, Shalabhasana, locust pose, okay? This time, if your feet are far apart, well, I guess it can stay far apart. Okay, just bend your knees. You might have to bring them closer together. See if you can bring your legs closer together. If you have low back issues, you may want to skip this, but bringing your legs closer together, you're just going to bend your knees up. Okay, so your soles of your feet are probably facing the ceiling. Right? And your arms are already back there, right? So what you're going to want to do is see if you can lift that chest up just like we did for lotus, and see if you can reach for some feet. They're there somewhere, right? And if you can't find them and you can't reach them, this is a great time to use your calendar strap so you can get closer to your feet, okay? But you're gonna wanna grab a toe, an ankle, a foot, something back there, okay? Grabbing hold of them. I would totally grab one of the same kind, right? So not one ankle and one toe, either ankles, toes, or arches, right? And what you're going to do here is you're going to lift up. So you're going to lift by pushing. So the lifting up, you get there by pushing your feet into your hands. So I'm pushing my feet. And when I do that, it allows my chest to lift even more. And the more you push, the higher you rise. Isn't that interesting? It's kind of like life, right? The more you push, the higher you rise. Remember your breath. You will feel it in your glutes. You will feel it in your arms. You will feel it in a lot of places. Take a deep breath in. And then exhale, lower it all down. Ah, that is work. Let's bring your palms down to the mat and extend into child's pose. Just as a counter, right? We did all this back bending. We have to counter pose. Anytime you do a lot of that, super important to do a counter pose in the opposite direction. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Awesome work. Let's come to all fours. Okay. Let's just take a couple of cats and cows. I think you guys know the cats and cows sequence. Just lowering your belly, right. Oh, Kendra had to leave us. And then there were 6. Couple of cats and cows, lowering your belly down to cow, and then arching your spine up to cat. And let's all come to a neutral spine. We are getting near to the end, I promise you. I would like for you to do camel though. Camel, If we take it the regressive way, we're going to get a twist out of it. So from all fours, let's see if you can just come up to your knees, right? And remember, blocks and straps help you get closer to your feet, the ground, whatever, right? But in camel pose, I've heard different things from different people, right? Typically, going up like this is easier, but I have heard that other people say that it's harder. So you'll have to decide which works for you. I'm going to show you the feet up position and then the feet down position. But in camel, you're on your knees. You're going to push your pelvis a little bit more forward, okay? So that it's in one line. So we're not bending over like this, right? We're pushing it more forward. And all I'm going to ask you to do with your hands is taking your left hand, see if you can find your heel. That in and of itself is a twist, okay? And then with your right hand, just bring it up into the sky, right? Just extend it up to the sky, okay? This is the beginning of a camel pose, okay? So we can stay here for maybe 2 breaths. Long, deep breaths. And then whenever you're ready, I would ask that you do it on the other side, right? So you're going to twist and then take that right hand to that right heel and then extend the left arm up into the sky, okay? Now, of course, you can lower your feet so that you're not on top of your toes, so that you're basically your toenails are to the mat. But what that's going to require, right? So remember I talked about tilting your pelvis forward? You're going to have strong quads because it's going to have to hold you, and you're going to have to trust yourself to be able to lean back. That's what gets you closer to your heels this way, right? So you're leaning back, and then you're finding your heels, right? Your quads are keeping you strong to hold you up, but then you're finding your heels, and then you're lifting up that upper arm, okay? I'm going to take a look. Yeah, after we're done, I'm curious to hear what you think is easier, which is harder. Seems like everybody likes the toenails down. I like the toenails down too. And if that was easy for you, then your next to progress into a camel's pose is doing both hands touching the heels, right? So some people like to start as a security with your fingertips facing up. It's like a shield, if you can see, like kind of like protection for your low back. To me, this is the most comfortable way to get there. And then I drop the hands. Some people like to have fingertips facing down. To me, this, although it can go down like this, to me, I have a tendency to maybe slide when I don't want to. So to me, fingertips up is the safest and easiest way, but it's Yogi's choice, right? But if you're here, right, you got your fingertips up so that your hands are protecting your low back, right? And then I like to bring my elbows closer in, almost like I'm fanning them in. And then remember the quad strength. And then I'm finding my heels, right? And then when you find your heels, you just hold on to them, pushing your pelvis more forward, allow your head to drop, okay? And then to get out of it, I like to use momentum, but I go back down and push myself back up. You may want to do one hand at a time, but just make sure you protect your low back at any cost. I'm just going to watch you guys do your camel. Yes, that's beautiful. Lynn and crew, that looks great. Joyce, I see you there. I know you're a little nervous. That's okay. Whatever feels comfortable. Don't do anything that feels uncomfortable for you. And then I can see you too. Robin, nice, beautiful. That's beautiful. It's a nice heart opening pose. It feels really good. So feel free to take your version of camel, whichever one feels right to you, just for a few more moments. And then we've got a few more things. And if you need to leave, I totally understand. I have a few more goodies for you before we go. All right. So after you've done your version of camel, let's just take a comfortable seat, right? Just cross-legged pose. And we're going to come and we're going to do some abs and some bridges, right? So we're going to do Navasana, which is boat pose. And what you're going to do from here is after you found your comfortable seat, You're gonna bring the soles of your feet to the mat in front of you, okay? And you're gonna grab the back of your hamstrings. You're gonna scoop your abs, right? So just kind of hollow out your abs, okay? And then your arms, your hands are giving you security as you lean back. You lean back as far as you want, right? Wherever you find that sweet spot in your sit bone so that you can balance, because you're going to basically be balancing on that bottom. So this part of your body is going to make a V, okay? And then whenever you're ready, just lift your feet up off the mat. This is the start of Navasana. Maybe you stay here and this is fine, right? Because you found that balancing spot. But your arms are probably doing a lot of the work to keep your legs up. If you feel comfortable here, maybe go to tabletop, right? And once you feel comfortable here, maybe you do the full extension. Maybe you go into Pilates V. And maybe you release the arms, okay? Do your version of boat. Nice work, Linen team. Nice work, Robin. Sonia and Joanne, I'm assuming y'all are just rocking it out. I see you, Joyce, you're looking good. Just continue to breathe. And then whenever you're ready, I'm assuming you guys have been there for at least 3 breaths. Just cross your legs, bring them down, okay? Bring your hands just at your side and push the mat away and lift your bottom up. If you're able to lift your bottom up, I forget which one it is, Lolasana or Tolasana, but anyway, it's one of those things. You're scooping your abs up and you're lifting your feet up off the ground. That's hard work. I can't lift my feet up yet. I'm getting there. Maybe you lift one leg up. You'll feel it when you do. And then the other. But it's a like nice counter pose. Okay? Check on you guys. Awesome, awesome. Okay. So we're only going to do one Navasana this time, just in the essence of time. So I want to make sure we have time for the other things. All right? We are back here in cross-legged pose. And what I'd like for you to do is to come back with your soles of your feet on the mat, grabbing the back of your hamstrings, and then lowering down onto your back. We're going to take bridges and wheels, okay? And you decide which bridge or wheel you'd like to do. So all of us have are involved in some form of fitness, so we know how to do a regular bridge. This time I'm going to ask you to do a one-legged bridge, okay? And then once you've done one leg, we'll lower down, we'll do the other side. And then on the third one, you can either continue to take, lower that foot down and continue to take bridge, or we can do full wheel, all right? So bringing your palms of your hands down to the mat by your side, finding your heels. I like to feel with my heels. I feel like that's a good distance, but it's yogi's choice, what feels comfortable to you, okay? We're gonna flatten our back, allowing our pelvis to shift upwards towards the ceiling. You're gonna peel your bottom up and allow yourself to come into a bridge. And remember your breath. You can either stay here, right? Or maybe you slide your feet to a comfortable place. I like to bring mine a little bit closer. Okay, and then pushing my heel down of my right foot, I'm going to extend the left one up. You will feel a lot of glute burn by doing this. We're just going to stay here for a couple of breaths. So while I've been talking, that's one breath. Pushing a little bit higher. And then releasing the foot down. Still in your bridge without lowering down. Let's see if you can put the weight into your left foot. Pushing that heel into the mat. Okay, take a deep breath in. And then extend your right leg up high. Pushing that heel into the mat so that your hips don't sink down. Taking a deep breath in. And then exhale, bringing that right foot down. And then slowly, slowly, slowly lowering yourself down. All right, I was showing you that, so I didn't get to see, but I'm imagining that you guys did that. Now from here, you can take a regular bridge, right? or you can take full wheel. If you are comfortable with full wheel, it's going to take the strength of your legs, bringing your bottom half up, and the strength of your arms to push yourself up. Okay. Are you guys all comfortable? I'm assuming you're comfortable full wheel. I'm going to show you what it looks like, and then I'm going to approach so I can see what you're doing. Okay. And if you're not comfortable with full wheel, just do bridge. Okay. You'll get the same benefit for where you are in your practice. Right. So we're all on our backs. We just finished our bridges. Okay. And our feet should be about hip width distance apart. Our arms are going to be about the same. Okay. I can feel my heels really nice and strong. And I know from doing bridges that I can lift my hips up. Okay. The challenge is whether or not we can lift our hips while lifting our upper body. So you're going to take your hands, and this is when those kind of strong fingers, remember that strong heel of your hand and tree frog fingers comes into play. And you're going to take your hands up to the sky and literally bend your elbows back so that your hands are right near your head. Okay. Elbows are tucked in. They're not splayed out. You won't have any strength this way. They have to be tucked in so that you're kind of in a nice straight line. Okay. You're not splaying them out. But you're really, remember I kept saying the whole practice, I keep saying, pushing the mat away, pushing the mat. This is the moment you've been waiting for, to push the mat away in a really big way. So you're going to dig into your heels. And at the same time of digging in your heels, you're going to push into the heel of your hands to lift your head and your upper body off the mat. So it looks like that. Okay. What I have found is when you don't have the arm strength, that's what prevents you from coming into full wheel. Okay. And if your practice is advanced enough and you want to do other things, like lifting one leg up, lifting the other, you can do that. But I'm approaching the camera so I can see you. Nice job, Robin. Awesome work, Lynn. Keep pushing. Nice work, other Lynn. And then slowly see yourself down. Awesome work. Awesome work. Usually the hardest part in that back bend is finding the right distance between your hands and your feet so that you can feel like you can lift up. We all have different spine flexibility, so our wheels are going to look different, right? But that upper body is the strength. That's the hardest part. That's a beautiful wheel. Beautiful wheel. Awesome work, guys. Give your knees a big, big hug in the counter pose. And I know we're almost at time, but I want to make sure you get a few more twisted. All right. After you've given yourself a big hug and given yourself a nice spinal massage, just use momentum to get yourself back into a nice, comfortable seated position, okay? I am going to give you one seated twist in the essence of time so that we can make sure we do our last kind of final hip openers, all right? So what I'd like for you to do, because I think everybody on this call has a decent amount of flexibility, I'd like for you to move from your nice, comfortable seated position into half lotus if you can do it. If you cannot, then you can stay here. Half lotus means that you're going to create a triangle with your legs, right? So you're going to take your right foot, so let's try the right foot on top first, and literally stack it on top of the left. You might have some space here, and that's okay. If you have a lot of space, you might want to try putting a block underneath there, right? Just to give you some more stability. It feels a little awkward having the block there, but if you have a lot of space, this may be more comfortable, okay? So half lotus, right? We're going to come from half lotus. Just stay here just for a couple of breaths, right? Just as you're going to get yourself situated and you found your half lotus. We won't stay there long because it can be quite uncomfortable. If we were doing like a yin practice, you'd stay here for like 5 minutes, but we're not going to do that. You're going to take the sole of your right foot and you're going to take it on the outside of your left, right? We're going to take half Lord of the Fishes or Ardha Matsyendrasana, okay? You're going to take your right hand and just treat it like it's like a little kickstand. So you want it kind of towards your back, just to give you a little bit of a leverage and security. And you can take your right arm and you can hug it. Maybe you stay here and that's totally fine. Okay, but that's a nice twist. To go into more depth of this twist, you can take this right arm and move it even more so to the back, right? So it's not only in line with your bottom, maybe it goes a little further. Another way to go deeper into this is to lift your arm up into the sky, bending your elbow and using it as a leverage. Remember how we were doing in our seated twist, our chair twist, our crescent lunge and the twist? Same thing, right? It's just that you're doing it with one arm. And you're taking it as a leverage and you're kind of lifting that arm up to the sky so that you can twist even further, remembering to breathe. Now, if you are even more flexible, which my body said no to me today, you can also take a full bind, which means grabbing it around and then grabbing the other hand around the back so that you're grabbing your wrists and they fall around that front knee. I mean, grabbing your hands or your wrists. But if you're here, you're here. This is where I am today. Okay, so let's just all take a deep breath in and then a deep breath out. One more biggest breath in. Maybe twist a little bit more and then let it go. All right. We're going to switch legs, right? So we're going to take now the left leg on top, and they're always will feel different, right? It's going to always feel a little different. So left leg's on top this time. This time we're going to bring our left hand to the back, right? We're going to take this left knee after we've stayed here in our lotus. We're going to take that left sole of our foot on the outside of the right leg, okay? With the other leg staying bent, okay? And again, you can hug it with your right arm. So basically the knee is into the bend of that arm. Or if you want to go deeper, again, you can raise that right hand, bending at the elbow, using it as a lever, and then twisting a little bit more. Remembering your breath. And then whenever you're ready, just release out of it, okay? Now we're just going to get out of it, and we're just going to take a quick vinyasa, okay? But it's going to be a different vinyasa because we're closing out, moving into our hip opener. So just from wherever you are, whether you're in lotus, coming out of Matsyendrasana, you're just going to take your hands down, come to a plank, and go take your vinyasa. High to low, upward facing or cobra, and then downward facing dog. Let's all take a deep breath in. Exhale, open the mouth, let it go. Bring your feet together at the back of the mat. With your inhale, lift your right leg up high. Exhale, knee to nose, swing into pigeon. Okay, so moving into pigeon, right? We're going to slide our hands back towards our hips, pushing the mat away. With your inhale, let's just take a slight back bend. And then exhale, come all the way forward. Should feel really nice right now. Your body should feel very flexy right now. Allowing your hips to open. If you need to, and you find that you have a little space, you can always put a block or a strap under that hip, that right hip where that front leg is bent. Otherwise, it probably looks more like a little check mark. Your body should probably feel like a little check mark. See if you can square your hips in this posture, right? Allowing yourself maybe to lean a little bit more, honestly, to that left hip flexor. So you're getting a nice stretch there. And if you want to cradle your hands so that you're creating a pillow under your forehead, you can do that too. Whatever feels most comfortable for you in this position. Swallow, take a deep, deep, deep breath in. And then exhale slowly. Let's come back up. Let's bring our hands closer to our hips. And then we're going to take our back leg and we're going to swing it around to the front so that we're in Janu Shirshasana. Okay, it's like a one-legged forward fold. The sole of your bent leg is going to be on the inside of your extended leg. Okay, you're going to make sure that your bottom and your sit bones are rooted down onto the mat. And with your inhale, you're going to extend your arms up high, bring those shoulders down away from your ears. And you're going to hinge at the hip and come all the way forward. Maybe touching heel or ankle or toes, whatever is comfortable for you. With your inhale, just take a slight halfway lift here. And that front extended leg is a little bent, right? Just a little bit, so you don't hyperextend. And then exhale, come all the way forward. Feel a nice hamstring stretch here. Remembering your breath. And now your next inhale, just come right back up. We're going to do revolve. You've got a Pavrita, right? We're going to take Pavrita Janu Shirshasana. All that means is we're going to just take this, instead of it being forward facing, we're going to take that left extended leg, move it kind of off your mat, right? So you kind of got a really kind of like a little V here or check mark that looks like this with you seated, right? So that right leg really didn't move. All I did was take the left leg and extend it kind of like northwest. And then you want to really see if you can take your forearm on the inside of that left leg. But if you can grab the inside of that arch, that's another option too, right? And you're leaning towards that extended leg, and you're going to take that right arm and just create an arc, right? You're getting a nice stretch on that right side body, okay? That right arm is trying to reach for those toes, okay? And if you can come and allow your heart to open a little bit more, you'll feel an even deeper stretch. Just take a deep breath in, deep breath out, and then slowly come back up, and we'll switch legs, okay? So this time you're going to extend your right leg long towards the front of your mat. And you're going to bend your left leg, okay, inside of that right leg that's extended, okay? With your inhale, extend your arms up high, bringing your shoulder blades down, hinging at the hips, come all the way forward. With your inhale, halfway lift, lengthening the spine. Exhale, come all the way forward. Staying here for a couple of breaths. And your next inhale, just come right back up. Now we have to take this right leg northeast, right? So it's staying extended, right? Sole of that foot is still on that inner thigh. We're going to lean over towards the right leg with this right arm, either having the arm inside the leg, which is a little bit of a deeper stretch, or maybe grabbing the inside of that arch or that toe, okay? Opening yourself up, extending that left arm up, and just stretching over towards the right toes. Just taking a deep breath in, exhaling it out. Huge inhale, exhale it out. Now let's just come back up. We're going to bend our knees. We're going to cross our feet. We're going to take our last vinyasa, okay? So just bending your knees almost like you're in a cross-legged position, but I'm taking the soles of my feet down. I'm extending forward. And if you want to take a creative move, you can jump back and take your vinyasa. Maybe staying a little longer in up dog. That might feel good. And then tuck your toes under. downward facing dog. Let's take a deep breath in. Exhale it out. Bring your feet together at the back of the mat with your inhale. Lift your left leg up high. Exhale, knee to nose, come into pigeon on the other side. Sliding those hands back, pushing the mat away. And slight back bend. And then extending forward into pigeon on the other side. And again, you can extend your arms long. You can perhaps create a pillow with your hands. Right? It's yogi's choice. See if you can this time bring that right hip flexor closer to the mat, right? It's allowing you to kind of square those hips in this position on the mat. I'm going to stay here for another breath. Deep breath in. Exhaling it out. And slowly coming back up. This time we're going to slide both feet around for Paschimottanasana. Okay? Kind of a seated forward fold. So making sure that your hips are grounded onto the mat, toes are facing the ceiling, kind of flexed up towards you. With your inhale, extend your arms up high, shoulder blades down, hinging at the hips. Come all the way forward, grabbing toes, ankles, or heels. With your inhale, halfway lift with a flat back, lengthening the spine. And exhale, folding forward. Your knees are slightly bent. Again, you don't want to hyperextend. A slight little small bend of the knee. Continuing to breathe. And then release your feet, come back up. Bring the soles of your feet down to the mat, sliding your bottom a little bit closer to your heels. Grabbing the back of your hamstrings. We're going to lay down all the way onto our backs. Okay? Let's bring the sole of your feet together into a butterfly once you're on your back. And let's close your eyes, bringing one hand to your heart and the other to your belly. Let's all take a deep breath in. Exhaling it out. Let's bring your knees together, soles of your feet onto the mat. You're going to interlace your fingers and bending your right knee. You're going to interlace your fingers right underneath that knee and giving it a little tug so that your knee is kind of tracking towards your right shoulder. So right knee to right shoulder. And then extend that left leg long, just giving yourself a nice stretch. And then keeping that right knee bent, we're going to bring the sole of that left foot back to the mat. We're going to take a figure four stretch. So this right knee, bent knee, you're just going to take that outside ankle of that right foot. Lean it onto that left, right below the left knee. And you're going to thread the needle, right, through that figure four. Interlace your fingers and give yourself like a little hug. Your interlaced fingers should be underneath, lower than that left knee. You should feel a nice stretch in your hips. And then you can release your arms, but let's see if you can cross your legs, right? So that right leg is kind of like a nice cross-legged pose, right? Like you'd be sitting in a chair like a lady. Then you're going to take your left hand on the outside of that left quad and just guide it over towards the left, right? So you have a nice little twist. If you want to take eagle legs, you can do that too. Okay, so you've got this twist going on with your towards the left. You're going to extend your right arm out, palms facing up, gaze over your right palm. And just stay here for a couple of breaths. And then let's come back to center. Okay, so now you're gonna bring both legs, both soles of your feet down to the mat. Interlace your fingers around the left bottom underneath the left knee. Give it a little tug towards your armpit. Extend the right leg long this time with your heel onto the mat. Okay. And then we're going to do that figure four stretch on the other side, right? So soles of your right feet down, bent leg, taking that left leg, placing over top of that, the right one, threading the needle, okay? And giving yourself a little hug, right? As you place your fingers, giving yourself a little hug with a nice hip stretch on that left hip. The closer you get to your chest, okay? And we want that kind of ladylike pose, right? And then you'll take your left hand, your right hand on the outside of your left knee, guide it over towards the right. So we're doing that like lying twist on the other side. Gazes over that outstretched left arm this time. And let's all come back to center. Let's just take your happy baby pose. Okay, just one last little move. You can stay in a regular happy baby. You know, maybe you take that Padangusthasana type pose and grab your toes. Maybe stretching out one leg and the other, and doing a little bit of Pilates Peter Pan. Whatever feels right to you. Just giving yourself kind of last final movements before we move into Shavasana. And then whenever you're ready, bring your soles of your feet together. Down to the mat into butterfly. Eyes closed, bringing one hand to your heart, the other hand to your belly. Thanking your body for what it was able to do for you today. Thanking yourself for taking the extra time for self-care. And then whenever you're ready, just extend one leg long, then the other, allowing your feet to kind of splay open. And perhaps releasing your hands down by your sides so your arms are long, palms facing up, maybe tucking shoulder blades underneath yourself just to give yourself a little bit more comfort. Just doing whatever you need to do to get to your final resting posture. Closing your eyes, taking a full deep breath in, exhaling it out into Shavasana. Slowly begin moving your toes, perhaps wiggling them a little bit. Maybe rolling around your ankles in circles, one way, the other. Allowing your fingers to move around and wiggle, and perhaps getting some motion in your wrists. Now extend your arms up overhead, just allowing your body to have a nice long stretch, perhaps interlacing your fingers even. Just stretching your body out from your fingers to your toes. And whenever you're ready, release your arms down. And maybe coming to one side, bending your knees, and allowing yourself, whenever you're ready, to come into a nice fetal position, perhaps cradling your head with your hands. Create a nice pillow for your head. And with your eyes still closed, I'd like for you to join me in your most comfortable seated position. Let's all bring our hands to our heart center. Let's take a deep breath in. Exhale it out. I'd like to thank all of you for joining me in your practice today and allowing me to be your guide. Until our hearts shall meet again. Namaste. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you, Tony.
Notice that we went long. I won't be here next week, so hopefully this recording will keep you for a couple of practices.
Thank you. It's good seeing everybody.
Yes,
That
it
was great.
is.
It's good seeing you guys too.
I know. I hadn't seen anybody in a minute.
I had to turn my camera on because I was too self-conscious of what I was doing. I was moving better when I couldn't see myself.
I tell you, that's the beautiful thing about yoga, right? Is that, we're all on our different journeys, different things are going to feel right, or maybe you need kind of like a different stretch or whatever, it's no judgment.
You're awesome. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Great. Thank you. Good
Thank
seeing you
you
guys.
so much.
Guys,
Right. Have a wonderful Sunday.
You too. Bye, everybody.
Care.
Bye-bye.